questions will be asked of businesses and people who are successful. What did you do about it? The problem is only going to get tougher over time. I think one of the ways to solve for this problem is really that wherever the concentration is, people use the success in some way to kind of do good for the society. So when we met Sameer and our idea is kind of matched.
It's truly upon us to try and at least figure out some answers that the next generation can work with.
I think in about 2017, we started supporting projects and organizations that were working in this space. Really, really small experiments, and we weren't as big back then.
I hear that common sort of thread in terms of meaning. Assuming we are pursuing happiness as humans, one is good health, which we take for granted, deep relationships from our loved ones or friends, and third one is meaningful work. So even kind of my attempt at doing this is that, and it seems like all three of you are kind of saying we want to try in our way. Whether it works or not is okay, but at least you try. That's kind of what I'm hearing. Is that fair?
Yeah. And meaning not just for self, but for everything around you. Because meaning can be very subjective.
Yeah.
Something that's entirely meaningful to me could be meaningless and harmful to others. So I think all of us there are on the same page. It should be meaningful to others around you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also about what you do with the platform that you have, right? In terms of money, in terms of computing power, in terms of reach, ability, the faculty of being able to use knowledge in a certain way.
Right.
That creates a platform that you must use to solve some of these problems. Because how do these problems get solved if people who have the ability to solve them do not address them?
Yep.
Sure.
Also, even as Zerodha, right? We started, the business as you want to make it easy for traders, and there was definitely money goals, right? But I think our lifestyles, etc., didn't go up beyond a certain point, and through the journey, the way we've thought about businesses also evolved, right? Over the last 6-7 years, it's been more about, getting Indians to do better with their money, right? Because one of the bigger problems in India is, I keep referring to this, like everything that's happening around us is almost like the East India Company. And you look at finance and markets, right? Because a lot of extraction happens out of India. Because if you look at the startup ecosystem, majority of the wealth is created outside India, right? As in, you look at founders, they own a few percentage points. Even those, a few of them, flip themselves, go to Singapore or wherever, become NRIs, and right. So startups are not making money, so there is no income tax being paid. There is all the wealth creation happening outside, right? So if India as a country has to inclusively become wealthy or become rich, that wealth creation has to happen in India. For that wealth creation to happen in India, entrepreneurs should be able to raise money locally and not depend so much on foreign capital. And I mean, the meaning I find in what we do as Zerodha is that if we can help people do better with their money, kind of understand risk better, maybe they will fund these entrepreneurs out there, right? And because we get to actually, our customer base is the top 3-4% of India, right? So we get to kind of influence them to think about all of this and maybe start taking small amounts of risk with their money, right? Because no country can grow if all your money is in real estate, gold, and bank FDs, right? I mean, you have to back entrepreneurs, right? And one of the I get up every day excited about Zerodha for this reason, right? The fact that we can in some way influence people to kind of back entrepreneurs in this country, and
I think local entrepreneurship is something Sameer keeps talking about also. So the foundation also fits in that way.
Right. But India does need capital. So we also do need to attract capital from overseas to build the bigger things, the infrastructure and the...
India has enough money. Okay. I mean, if you were to look at all the money that's lying in bank fixed deposits, right? If some of that came to the,
Now you sound like India has so much money, only 1% invested in this.
No, I'm not saying. It's just about getting people to think I mean, of course, there's no way.
But do you think it's a thinking problem? I mean, everyone. Morgan Housel in one of his chapters headed it. No one is stupid.
Right.
I think people, with the information and backgrounds and circumstances we have, we do the best we can, whether it's in our relationships, whether it's with our money. So it's not like we're being purposely stupid.
Right.
So there's something, the scars of the 80s or 70s still there. We've seen our parents do certain things. Maybe we haven't got over it.
Right.
I don't know whether the stock market performance going up and down, if anything, it's scaring the hell out of me, saying, hang on, is this... And that was the thinking many, many years ago, that it's a gambling place. So I can put 5%, maybe 10% of my wealth into that.
Right.
Can I put all my money
you
into
shouldn't.
a balanced fund?
Yeah.
I should. I mean,
No,
I
you
should
shouldn't.
get to that.
I don't think you should. So,
Yeah, but that's what you're asking, right? If you want
I'm
the
saying
Indians...
take small amounts of risk, right? I mean, like even as Zerodha, we've never asked anyone to, take large exposure to equities. I don't think, like, even to the extent, I don't know if I should even be saying this, but as a broker, I think the right product for India, the market, the entire country, is maybe not even equities. It's maybe a better fixed income product, because we don't have the financial, there's no financial literacy in this country, right? As in, we have not been taught finance, so think about risk to reward.
Yeah.
I think which is very important, like this whole concept of risk to reward, saying, what is the kind of risk and how much I'm going to stake in for what kind of reward, as in your mental framework. And you need that, that kind of thinking across the country for people to be actually actively backing entrepreneurs, etc. No, I mean, we're not that deluded that we're expecting that, we don't want the entire country to be investing in equities. Of course not.
Not equities, maybe, but mutual funds, I think, are a good financial product that could perhaps give them a balanced sort of exposure. So,
I'd like to interject. And I have a very different view here, but I think what I've understood from what Nithin is saying, it's not really about stock markets at all. It's really about supporting local entrepreneurship. Maybe the markets are one way to do that. Maybe there are other ways. Is that?
Yeah. So the thing is, see, the idea is, if you start investing in companies, public limited companies, you will start thinking about investing private companies as well, right? So if I'm investing in the stock market and say I see this entrepreneur around me, he wants funding, the chance of me investing in him is much higher than if I've never invested in my life, right? So I'm saying, as investing as a culture, I think one of the reasons why US did so well is just because of that capital that's available in the country for entrepreneurship. In India, it's changed over the last 4 or 5 years, but it's changed for the wrong reasons, right? Which is quick returns, right? And that mean reversion is going to happen, right? As soon as people realize that there's no quick return in it, some of this fraud that is built up will disappear. But in the longer run, we still need people who say, if I have a decent idea, I should be able to raise some money locally. And I think wealth creation then will potentially happen within.
Sure. So if they start investing in public markets, they're used to some risk, and therefore the risk capital can go to entrepreneurship directly or indirectly, right? You can always go indirectly. Okay, got that.
Hopefully in a climate-friendly way.
That's
So, the example of that is the new Bangalore airport, the new terminal there. It's all bamboo, and it costs a packet of money. India is the third largest producer of bamboo, and we did not have the skills, entrepreneurship to actually source the bamboo from India. The bamboo comes from Indonesia, and the folks who designed it come from Europe.
Right.
Somebody had invested in this a while ago, intersecting with our biodiversity and with local entrepreneurship, not just traded on the same old commodities, chasing hypervaluations. I think we would be in a better place. So we do need that investment. We do need that belief, and hopefully it intersects with biodiversity a lot more.